Coming up on Good Morning Wilmington Live. Winning the fight on the front lines for the inner city youth, the Green Beret Project State Director Adam Kramer stops by the plaza to talk about the organization's dynamic after-school programs. And Shannon Biello, Shatterproof's Vice President of Treatment Quality and Strategy, stops by to talk about their efforts to reverse the addiction crisis in the U.S. Plus, Jamiel Owens, representative for CHOP's Center for Autism Research, stops by to talk about Autism Awareness Month and how you can get involved. Tune in Monday, April 3rd at 10 a.m. right here on DETV.
Good morning, Wilmington. I'm your main man, Big Ivan, the talk of the town, Mr. DETV, and I'm here with my lovely co-host,
Vincenza. Good morning, Wilmington, and good morning, Ivan.
Good morning, Vincenza. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful on this beautiful Monday.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, how about this weather? Let's get right into it.
Okay,
Let's
Saturday
acknowledge.
was hell. Okay.
All right, yeah, okay. Let's acknowledge that Saturday was not the best day,
Right.
but
Sunday,
when there's rain,
there's sunshine and daffodils.
I love spring. Spring is in full effect, that's for sure, and April is here.
Yeah.
So I'm all about this beautiful weather that is actually unfolding throughout the week. They're calling for 70-degree weather.
Oh my God, are
midweek.
you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready for it. I'm so ready. I hate the cold, you know that.
So let me ask you this, when is the correct time? When do you put your winter clothes away?
Oh, that's a great question. I say you do what's best for you. I'm always cold. Feel my hands.
Oh, you're freezing.
Freezing, right? I'm always cold. So I'll probably keep that winter jacket on a little longer than
like
most
June.
people. I'm the type of person that's wearing a scarf at the beach because
Okay.
I'm usually very cold and chilly, but I think you do what's best for you.
Right.
I know the saying is that you don't wear white after Labor Day, but I think there is such thing as winter white. So I guess it's, when it comes to fashion, you do
Right.
what's best for you and it showcases your personality, but you do what's best when it comes to putting the jackets away and the winter clothes away. But I
was thinking about it
love
yesterday.
the weather.
I was thinking about it yesterday. I was like, you know what, do I need this sweater? Do I need this sweatshirt? The hell with it. I just
Watch, you'll put everything away and then a
cold.
cold front will come in. But that's what this, that's spring. So,
Yeah.
but there's some birthdays in the house. Well, one birthday, but happy birthday to all the April babies. I know that we have our very own DETV's Sean.
Yeah, Sean Lindsay.
Yes, happy birthday to Sean. We always like to try to celebrate and acknowledge our team because remember, it does truly take a village to make this whole production come together. Even though you just see Ivan and I on camera, there's a team of people behind the scenes making everything possible. So we always like to make sure we acknowledge our DETV team here at Good Morning Wilmington. But let's talk a little bit more about what's happening in the community.
West End Neighborhood House sports program have started now every Monday night. So shout out to West End. I think I think Paul and his team over there at West End are doing some great stuff.
Yeah, and it's so important for the community to stay active and stay innovative because you want to keep things interesting and you always have to adapt with what's happening in life, especially since the younger generation, they know how to adapt quickly. I mean, they're instant gratification generation. So we need to continue to adapt with them. So I love that there's always fun events to do out in the community. But let's talk about, speaking of fun events, I really was excited about this one. I wanted to go to this event. So tell us about La Traviata.
Why didn't you go?
I was working at the restaurant.
Okay,
I'm always working.
You're
I'm always working at the restaurant. But I'm so happy you were able to attend. So tell us about
I
that.
represent both of us when you came.
I appreciate that.
Right. And it was crazy. I'll tell you about that later on in the evening. So it was one. I want to tell everyone if in Delaware and Wilmington, go out and do something different, right? The opera was something different for me, right? And I went, and at first I really couldn't. I'm trying my best to get it, right? And then I was like, oh, I get it. And Carrie Ann was right. She was saying it was like Pretty Woman, and it exactly was like that. It is a form of artistry when you can sing opera, sing it in Italian, right? and portray it. And it was just an overwhelming experience that I think every creative needs to go to. It needs to appreciate, because it was beautiful. It was really, really beautiful.
That makes me so happy because Carrie Ann, right?
Yeah.
She was on the show. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
Both.
Right. And that's right. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
She came on again.
Yeah.
So that she first off, Carrie Ann, just so much positive energy. I love her personality, but you can just see how passionate she was about this particular event, and it just was so gravitating. I wanted to go to the event, and the fact that she was able to really express that, and you witnessed it firsthand. She was telling you about it beforehand, and then you saw it firsthand, and you were just blown away. I'm sure.
I think, and I'm gonna say this, and I don't mean any, negative words before it. When you sat in the Opera House, you saw. It was just a beautiful sight, seeing all types of people, right? Black, white, Hispanic, and I don't think the Grand has ever seen that many folks in that one spot at one time, and people really, really enjoyed it. And then they had first they had the micro gala.
Yes, okay.
And that was very,
fun?
very nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I lost about a couple $100, but it was cool.
Oh, wasn't it?
It was for the fundraising.
That's right, fundraising.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a very clever idea to have right before the show. I hope they have another event like that. I'm sure they will, but and I'm sure that we'll probably have Carrie Ann back on the show too.
We have
let
to.
you know
We
about
have
the
to.
next big event that they're having at the Opera House. But speaking of other big events, the Delaware Blue Coats are in the
in the finals.
Finals
Yep.
tomorrow.
Playoffs. Is it playoff or finals?
No. Tomorrow
night.
is their first
Finals.
game.
Yep.
And they are playing the Vipers.
The Vipers, yeah.
And DETV will be there.
Oh yeah, we're going to be doing a live broadcast from the field house tomorrow night. Doors open at 7:30. Game is at 9 p.m. Tickets are available at bluecoats.gleague.nba.com. As a matter of fact, if you could tell me last year the score, and I'm going to put this out there, and then I'm going to ask the Blue Coats to give me tickets. I got 2 tickets for you for tomorrow's game, right? If you could tell me the score last year between the Vipers and the Blue Coats, you get 2 tickets to the game tonight.
Just to clarify, they have to put it in the comments.
Have to put it in the comments.
The first person to put it in the comments gets the 2 tickets.
Yes.
And they have to contact you to get those tickets.
No, just put it in there, and we'll see
contact.
we'll see whoever got the first one.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see who's gonna get it.
Oh gosh, it'll be 800 people outside
Watch,
waiting.
it's our moms.
Right.
That's too funny. Well, speaking of other events, I know that Out and About magazine just came out for the month, and they are listing all the events that are happening this month. I mean, we're talking about the Grand Prix coming up. I think there's Taste of Wilmington.
Oh, I can't wait.
There's tons of events, so check out Out and About magazine. But speaking of April happens to be Black Women History Month, which was founded in 2016, and Black Women History Month celebrates the contributions women have made to history. So honoring all of the Black women this month. But actually, you know that we like to honor all year round as well.
All year round, I'm with it. I was thinking about it yesterday, and I was like, you know what, the hell with this. I think women, first it was Women's Month, History Month, then it was Black Women's History Month. I'm gonna say just year round, why don't we just freaking celebrate everybody?
I'm all about
it. You know
it.
what I mean? I'm so sick of just everyone gets 1 month. Like Black History gets 1 month. You know,
we celebrate all year round.
All year round.
Nothing wrong with that. But speaking of Black women history, you can also check out DETV has some great content they're offering. I was very excited about this. You can check out, it's the show called High Impact with Pastor Bernadette Mills. I was very excited. Very excited about that. That seemed like it was a great turnout.
Yes.
You had a live, did you
Live
have a live
audience.
audience?
Live audience.
I love when there's a live audience in house. I mean, that's just the energy alone in the room is exhilarating. So I was very excited for that show. So I didn't get to be a part of it.
Wait till you see it.
But I know that people were talking about it. The feedback was so positive.
Yeah, it was just, again, it was women making an impact, and she's right, high impact. But what was crazy, Vincenza, was, right, we're in production, and she says, okay, next year we're having high impact, and I'm thinking like, Atlantic City or something. She says London.
Oh.
London, right. So all the women are going to London.
Okay.
So I might have to be on the production team with that. And you know. So also
Taking a trip to London.
Yeah, taking a trip live from London. April is also National Jazz Appreciation Month. Celebrate by listening to your favorite jazz artists at City Fest. Kicks off the Clifford Brown year-round this past weekend. I missed that.
But that's okay. I know that.
Jeez.
I feel like with the warm weather brings so many other events, but the Clifford Brown Jazz Festival is it usually in June?
It's in June.
It's in June,
Yeah.
so.
And I'll be hosting again.
Oh,
I'll be hosting again. That
I
means
love
DETV will be there again.
DETV will be there.
In the crowd, doing what we do.
Oh, that's so perfect.
Yeah.
It's one of those events that I think really invites the entire city out.
Right.
I mean, the whole city is
beautiful.
there. And when the weather is beautiful, oh, that's just a night to remember. Well, it's an all-day event.
Yeah.
All-day events. We'll stay tuned for more information on that in the coming months for the Clifford Brown Jazz Festival.
Right.
But lastly, April happens to be Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month.
Woo! There we go.
Oh yes, oh yes. So very important to bring awareness to autism awareness, but also not just this month, but you know we like to say throughout the entire year.
Right.
Oh yes, oh yes. So
All right, who we have today?
I know.
Let's
Get right into it since we have to continue on with the show. And before we have to break to commercial, we have to let everyone know who our guests are.
There we go. Let's go.
All right, so we have first up on the plaza is Adam Kramer, the State Director of the Green Beret Project.
Love that.
Yes, and then secondly, we have Shannon Biello, the Vice President of Treatment Quality and Strategy of Shatterproof.
All right.
And then last but not least, we have Jamiel Owens, Family Relations Coordinator of CHOP Center for Autism and host of The Awesome Show.
What a way to end the show with that. Autism Month and bam, bam, boom, bang,
Oh yeah,
pow, pow.
I love that, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
With some more capeless superheroes.
Coming up on the plaza, the Green Beret Project's own Adam Kramer.
DETV has been Delaware's premium provider of creative digital and broadcasting solutions that bridges communities and connects people. We create great stories for all audiences. We deliver independent news throughout Delaware. We are digital platform innovators. And we develop marketing and sales solutions so you can stay connected to your audience. Now, why do we do what we do here on DETV? We do it because we care. So, keep watching and follow us on all of our social media platforms. Remember, DETV, online, on air, on time.
Still searching for cheap gas prices? Dump the pump and ride DART. You can DART to your destination for only $4 all day. Let DART do the driving while you enjoy our free Wi-Fi available on all buses statewide. While scrolling through your favorite apps, don't forget to download DART's free transit app for real-time bus information and enjoy the convenience of contactless fare payment through DART Pass. So what are you waiting for? Dump the pump and try transit. Visit dartfirststate.com or call 1-800-652-DART.
Government doesn't make a move without an agenda, some type of plan. The problem is we haven't been on the agenda. Sometimes we're overlooked. Sometimes our interests aren't the interest of those in power. I'm your host, Kerwin Gaines, on DETV's new show, The Agenda. We're going to do our best to ensure that you, Delawareans, are knowledgeable about what's going on in the Assembly. Federal government, local government, it doesn't matter. We're going to do our best to ensure that folks that make the agenda on a daily basis have to answer for it. Let them explain what they're doing. If it affects you, it's on the agenda.
All right, first up on the plaza, we have the State Director of the Green Beret Project, Adam Kramer. Welcome to the plaza, Mr. Kramer.
Welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes.
I love Adam. I met Adam. I met you maybe about 6-7 years ago. In Hockessin with Dennis when I first started shooting with Dennis. I thought the Green Beret Project was just freaking amazing, man. What he's doing. We know what it is, but can you tell the people, the viewers at home, what is the Green Beret Project?
Yeah, currently we coach around 200 kids growing up in housing authority neighborhoods. They come at all ages. I've had kids born into the program.
Oh, wow.
We've got, you know, guys and girls that are, you know, well over 18, up to 25 years old right now. You know, we started 7 years ago. If we met you when you're 18, we stick by your side. Now you're 25. If we met you when you were 10, you're 17. You know, and so on and so on with the ages. It's really like a long-term mentorship program. You know, there's not one pill that can fit all. So it's like having a bunch of children, and hey, you know, these are the doors that we have, and it's constant assessing, reassessing, assessing, reassessing, and you know, we have young women that are in the military. We have, you know, young guys in trade school. You know, some guys on their way to college. We just had a young man, we've known him since he was 12, and he was a handful, and the guy's 19 now, and he just graduated from Department of Corrections training camp, and he's also private first class of the National Guard military police.
Wow.
You know, give him a real sense of purpose, and that's just the beginning, right? You know, we're still, you know, I mean, he's 19. So we're still got our arms wrapped around him. Now we're helping him build his credit. We're helping him get into housing. We're helping him use his GI money to get his college degree, and then hopefully move on to Delaware State Police and then off to a federal agency. But with just, you know, taking the proper steps. Hey, you want to be an FBI agent? It's totally attainable, but we have to do this now until we get there. And, you know, coming from, you know, some of the neighborhoods he comes from, it's not that easy. You still have a lot of the outside influences coming in. It's just helping him set boundaries and just becoming a strong young man.
See, I think the success stories are really what paint the picture of what the Green Beret Project is all about. I had the opportunity to visit the website because I never heard of the Green Beret Project before today, and I was like, okay, what's this all about? And I was truly moved by what mentorship it offers and what resources and opportunities that it offers. But it's interesting to see that, you know, it's more than just, like you said, a mentorship. You're helping them learn lifelong skills that they could take with them forever. I mean, you mentioned it, helping them with their credit. I mean, they don't even teach that in school. They don't. They don't. I wish they did, because that is so important. If you want to purchase a car, purchase a house, or make a big purchase in your adulthood, you have to have credit established and good credit, if that. So the fact that you're talking about these things and developing these skills, I think that's so imperative. Now, Adam, I think it's really important to always share a little bit about yourself and your background and your purpose. Because you did say that the Green Beret Project gives these individuals a sense of purpose. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and your purpose.
I'll try to keep it short, but so I grew up in Delaware, local Delaware guy, have a huge family around here, you know, family full of engineers, doctors, law enforcement. However, I was, you know, through divorce of my family, kind of threw away a Division I baseball career, started hanging out with the wrong crowd, and man, I went off on a long path of in and out of prison until I ended with a 7-year federal prison sentence for organized crime, drug trafficking. But, you know, it sounds horrible, but in reality, that prison really helped me kind of learn who I am, become sober. It was the first time I was sober as a man.
Congrats.
At 27 years old.
Congrats.
You know, using and abusing drugs since the age of 12 to 27, making a lot of bad decisions, hanging with a lot of wrong people. Ended in prison. Prison was good, like I said, getting sober, kind of learning more even about why the men are in prison. You know, I'm very inquisitive, extrovert, so I'm asking tons of questions. And what I found, that all of us had one common denominator, no matter what state, city, country, ethnicity you were. It was fatherlessness, some type of issue with your dad.
Get out.
All inmates. You know, dad's not there, dad beat you, divorce, whatever the case may be. And so you had a bunch of grown babies, right? And you're not coming out, you're coming out of prison either better or worse. And so I didn't watch all the TV shows and, you know, get all caught up in the prison culture. Instead, I read a lot of books, got a couple degrees in theology, and quickly found out what my sense of purpose was, which was coaching. You know, started coaching inside the prison, One of my jobs was a fitness instructor in the prison. I got 60 new inmates every 3 months for 4 years, and so I got a lot of experience with coaching.
Excellent.
Got out, started coaching at the Juvenile Detention Center, which led to meeting a local FBI agent who was a Green Beret, you know, who quickly recruited me, and here we are 7 years later.
Changing lives.
Changing lives.
And I love that.
So how do you feel now, years later, in all the lives that you help?
I mean, it feels wonderful, and it's still, you know, waking up in the morning, it's like I don't even work.
Right.
You know, there has to be a balance with, you know, dealing with the accountant and the, you know, the grants, and that's stuff I don't like. I'm like, I told the board, if you ever take me away from coaching these kids, I'm
good.
I'm out.
Oh, right, I'm leaving. Right.
Like, this is the bread and butter. I love developing young
Yes.
minds, and hey, you want to be good at the violin? I'm terrible at that, but I will find the best violinist
Right.
to coach you up. You know, and I tell kids that, like, we are here for you, and we need to figure out what you're good at and what your sense of purpose is to get you excelling in life.
How are the kids taking, like, knowing your background? How are they appreciating what you have to offer to them? Because I know at first they might be kind of hesitant.
Well, at first, you know, I come in the neighborhood and I'm a white bald guy, and they're like, "Oh, he's a cop, he's a cop," and I'm like, you know, I have to check them real quick. Like, oh, now you're judging me just because I'm white and bald guy? You think I'm a cop?
Right.
Come on now, let's sit down and talk, and they appreciate me being an open book to them.
Right.
Sharing about, hey, you know, it wasn't always pretty even when my parents were married.
Right.
You know, coming from low income, moving from a low income to you know, upscale within 8 years, because my parents were hard workers, and then blew up in a divorce, and here we are.
Right.
And they know all that. They know, some of them know my dad, some of them knew my mother, my sister. You know, so nothing's hidden from them, and then they feel, you know, it's okay to be vulnerable with me.
Right.
That they're not going to get judged when I step inside their households, know their moms, grandmoms, brothers, sisters, whoever else.
Nice. Where do you get the kids from? Is there a process? What type of process is it to get new kids?
Kids bring kids.
Oh.
That's the.
Oh.
I mean, that's the best, right? Think about, if you remember back when you were a teenager, or, you know, even younger than that, and your mom or, you know, whoever your guardian's like, you have to go to this program.
Yeah.
You're like,
Word of mouth.
Right? So kids, I have kids, they're like, hey, Mr. Adam, I want to bring my friend. I'm like, bring him on over. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
And, you know, siblings and cousins, and it just kind of grew.
But that speaks volumes of what the organization is doing.
Yeah.
Right.
And I always say word of mouth is the best form of advertisement. And the fact that you're giving these individuals these skills, but also an experience, good memories, that they're talking about it amongst their peers.
Right.
And now they're saying, hey, come check this organization out. Hey, why don't you come with me? That's so powerful.
Yeah.
And the fact that you and your team at the Green Beret are doing that and making such a strong impact for the, like you said, kids bring kids. I mean, that's a first time for me here. Where I'm like, oh wow, that's
Create options. We have a
that's
mechanic
powerful.
shop. We have a landscaping company. We have a carpenter shop. We have a farm. We got a couple AAU teams. We have a camp in, you know, New River Gorge, West Virginia. We have strong ties back to Fort Bragg. So they, you know, kids start hearing about these things. They're like, we don't really like the farm or the mechanic shop. We might fit into AAU basketball. We don't do basketball, but we love to work and make money. So, you know, we have 5 kids on payroll.
Right.
And it's like, hey, well, we have an opportunity. Yeah, you're going to be a janitor. You're going to cut the grass. You might work in a mechanic shop on some of our vehicles.
Right.
And you might be down to farm.
Right.
But we will find work for you so I can teach you these work skills to then move on.
What values? What values are these kids learning when they're with you?
I mean, all the integrity you could think of, right? Because I am constantly, I'm like, look, Adam the coach might be a little different than Adam the foreman.
Right.
If you want to get done this job today, you might hear some things come out of my mouth that you might not when I'm a coach.
Right.
But you need to get with it, right?
Right.
The world's not what you think it is. And when you get into DOC or you get into the military, you get into these trade schools or wherever you might be, you might have people that you can't deal with, right? And you need to learn how, you know, the emotional skills every day to when your boss says you need to clean a bathroom, and you're like, well, I'm not cleaning the bathroom. It's like, well, then you're gonna leave and you're not gonna be on payroll.
Right.
You know, so you're gonna learn that or you're not. So through life skills, life assessment, earned income, you know, we do lots of community service too. Academics, nutrition is huge with our program because, you know, less sugar, less carbs, less anxiety, less depression, better sleep.
So smart. It's very
mental
true.
health, all that good
Yeah.
stuff.
So it's like, you know, they're always
Everything comes full circle.
making fun of me saying fake food, and I'm like, we just don't do processed food around here. We do fruit, vegetables,
Wholesome
meat.
food.
So
Good
it's mind,
wholesome
body, and
food.
spirit. I love it. I love
Right.
it. Last time I saw Adam, we were at the reception for the Longwood Grant.
Oh, okay.
So congratulations on that.
Yes, congratulations.
What are you going to do with that bread?
We are going to hire a development director.
Yeah.
So we're fortunate enough to get money for staffing, which is wonderful. I think the development director will take us to the next level,
Right.
because we got a bunch of, you know, lack of a better term, bunch of meatheads running this thing, right? And we're good at what we do, coaching, assessing, and recruiting people. We've recruited a good grant writer who was able to get us Longwood and an accountant to go along with that. So I just feel like the jock in the room sitting with the accountant.
I hear you. Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
Right? Because now I'm like, oh, all I have to do is spend the money.
Right.
I can interview and hire people just fine.
Right.
But you know,
The
getting
administrative
to
stuff.
that,
Yeah.
the development, and I'm looking for the development director to be able to help take lots of that burden off the plate.
Understood.
Of myself, our interim
Okay.
ED, and
So
board.
if you're a development director out there and you're looking for a good place to work, the Green Beret it's project is where you need to be.
And
Where
that-
can they contact you? I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I know that Adam wanted to mention some events coming up real quick, so I know our interview is
So
coming
if they
to
want
an
to
end.
contact me, get right on the website. There's a
Okay.
phone number you can call. And so third annual 50-mile ruck this year.
Okay.
First year we walked from Wilmington to Dover. Second year we walked from Dover to Dewey. This year we're going to do like here's 20 checkpoints, and we start in Rehoboth and end in Rehoboth, and we'll be walking around the beach.
Oh, nice.
That is May 26th into May 27th.
Okay. Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, Green Beret Project Rock. It's pretty nuts.
Awesome,
I
awesome.
can see a whole boot camp coming up. He's up to something. I can see that happening.
Well, last
like the
year we
Iron Man
raised
challenge.
$57,000
On the wall?
on the walk. You know,
That's
just
amazing.
getting people, because I created lots of fun prizes for top fundraisers. And then top 10 get some pretty cool gifts.
Love it.
You know, and making it a competition
Yeah.
for fundraising has done pretty well.
Right.
I just beg, borrow, and steal that idea from a friend of mine, and
Who doesn't
then-
love a little friendly competition?
Right. Good stealing.
Must be that baseball background in you, the competitive side that comes up with all these ideas. But you know what fuels your fire, and you want to help these young individuals make sure they find what their purpose is and fuels their fire as well to survive life.
Right.
So, Adam, thank you so much for joining
Thanks,
us,
Adam.
really. And we
Thanks
wish
for
you
having
so much continued success at the Green Beret Project.
And keep us posted, man. We would
will
love to
do.
keep bringing you on, talk about it. It's awesome what you're doing.
yeah, look us up on Instagram at Green Beret Project. There's the at Green Beret Project Classic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent,
All right.
excellent.
Cool. Another Cape the
I
superhero.
know,
I'm
I
trying to tell
love
you.
this. I love it.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Stay tuned. Shatterproof's Shannon Biello is up next.
The American dream of homeownership is very much alive, but the effects of COVID are still being felt in families across our state, from Sussex County to Wilmington, and with each passing month, they are facing foreclosure and homelessness. If you are at least 30 days behind in your mortgage, the Delaware Mortgage Relief Program may be able to help. Every Delaware homeowner is eligible for up to $40,000 in mortgage assistance to help bring you current on your monthly payments. So don't wait. To apply for the Delaware Mortgage Relief Program, call 888-303-4324 or visit demortgagehelp.com. Act fast to save your home, yourself, and your family.
A new beginning, a second chance. Call it what you want, but this is what never giving up looks like. This is what finding someone who believes in you looks like. I thought Goodwill was just a store until a friend told me about Train to Gain through Goodwill's Job Resource Center. After 5 years away, I had a lot of self-doubt and fear about my future. But Goodwill had my back, and today, I love where I work. They matched me with an employer who believes in second chances. And now, I have a new start thanks to Goodwill.
To learn more about Goodwill's career development opportunities, call today.
Still searching for cheap gas prices? Dump the pump and ride DART. You can dart to your destination for only $4 all day. Let DART do the driving while you enjoy our free Wi-Fi available on all buses statewide. While scrolling through your favorite apps, don't forget to download DART's free transit app for real-time bus information and enjoy the convenience of contactless fare payment through DART Pass. So what are you waiting for? Dump the pump and try transit. Visit dartfirststate.com or call 1-800-652-DART.
Looking to jumpstart your teaching career in Delaware? And make up to $50,000 with full benefits? Then look no further than Kingswood Early Learning Academy, where you can make a difference and earn the salary you deserve.
I know, right? Welcome back, everyone, to DETV's Good Morning Wilmington. I mean, I always like to have a good time on set, right? You should see us in between commercials. We're always something happening, but I love it, and that's what keeps things new and exciting here on the plaza. But next up we have is Shannon Biello, the Vice President of Treatment Quality and Strategy for Shatterproof. Thank you for joining us today, Shannon.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
You are. Shoot, I want to hear what Shatterproof is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what's Shatterproof?
So Shatterproof is a national nonprofit that is committed to helping people with substance use disorder. So to that extent, we work in areas such as policy, treatment access. We work on anti-stigma campaigns to really provide a comprehensive and thoughtful approach to the challenges we see in the substance use disorder space. And it's really a labor of love. Shatterproof was born from, a painful story. Our CEO and founder lost his son to substance use disorder. So really the impetus of Shatterproof is, making some impact from something that's really tragic and painful. And it's a really wonderful organization to work for because so many people on our staff and the people that we connect with through our volunteer programs or otherwise have been impacted by the challenges we see with substance use disorder, and they bring a lot of passion and thoughtfulness and courage to this work that I think makes us able to really bring an impact to the field.
Yeah. Shannon, tell us a little bit more about your position at Shatterproof, and just go into detail a little bit more too.
Yeah, so in my work, I work on a project called Treatment Atlas. That's a resource that's free and publicly available to people in Delaware. And what it does is people can go to treatmentatlas.org. They can search for treatment in locations that make sense to them in Delaware. And they are given a list of treatment options. They can refine their search results based upon what they know their clinical needs are, what their preferences are when they're searching for care. Things like what insurances are accepted. Do you have a special program for veterans? Things that people want and look for when they're searching for care, and they're given a list of recommended options so that they're able to do an informed search for treatment. They're able to look at this information and make sure they're finding a program that will work for their specific needs. So in my role, I work on all of the information that we compile and put into our site. So I work on the data side, and then I also work on making sure our website is accessible and easy to use so that people can come to Atlas and they have a tool that's there for them. It's, it's transparent. It's meant to make it so that people are easily able to find the information that will get them to care or get their loved one to care as quickly as possible.
Right. And speaking of the website, it was very user-friendly.
Yes,
That's high praise.
I had the opportunity to visit the website because I always like to just do a little bit more research. I'm always learning something new, and that's the beauty of hosting Good Morning Wilmington. We never stop learning what is out there, and just all the amazing resources that are there for the community, even just throughout the tri-state area. I read a statistic on the website which resonated with me, and it was through Brian's story. 9 out of 10 children begin experimenting with substances before their 18th birthday. And this is such a critical time because that's when they're going through developmental years of brain development. I mean, wow. Wow on that statistic. And that resonated with, like, oh my goodness, like, this is very, very, very accurate.
It's real.
I mean, right now we know from recent data that 46 million people in the US that's ages 12 and up are living with a substance use disorder. So you know someone, and I think unfortunately with the stigma that people feel personally and then the stigma that they feel culturally, it's very hard for people to talk about, but you know someone.
Right.
And it's tragic when, you know, someone has a child who is struggling with substances, or people have another loved one, a friend, a cousin, it can be anyone, and they don't know where to go. I think we've all had experiences at our organization where we've tried to help someone find care. And I've worked in behavioral health now for most of my career, and it was when it came time for me to help a loved one, it was incredibly challenging. And so this project is really an attempt to give people a tool that in one of the worst moments that they will probably ever experience, they have something that that's easy to use, that they feel comfortable with, that they can trust. And our resource is anonymous. It's meant to take away that kind of fear of identifying or fear, you know, of having to relay this in a way that they can go there and use it and ultimately find treatment, because we want to make sure that as many people find care as possible.
Right, and you talked about that even on the website, trying to get over this hurdle that substance abuse is a chronic disease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was highlighted on the website, and I'm glad that it was, because it's fact. It's true, it is a chronic disease. And identifying that is the first step to healing, or at least in the right step toward treatment or a process.
It's a treatable chronic disease, and we want that to be the general understanding, and that's our goal, is we want to get people the support that they need to live full and fulfilling lives, because their treatment is available. It's a disease that's been studied. We know how we have standards of care, and it's important to acknowledge that even with those standards of care, we see such low rates of people accessing treatment. And a lot of that has to do with stigma. I mean, the fact that we have to focus so much on our site being anonymous and giving people anonymity, there's a lot to address there to make sure that people do feel comfortable going to care, feel comfortable talking about this chronic disease that they have, similar to being comfortable talking about having diabetes or asthma. It's that, it should be that mainstream, and that's why we have a lot of different programs at Shatterproof, because it's going to take all of these different components working together, increasing access to treatment, increasing efforts to mitigate stigma, to ultimately make sure that we can address this crisis.
Can we, and I want to go back, because I heard you say Atlas. What exactly is Atlas?
Yeah, so Atlas is that online tool. So people in Delaware can get to it by going to treatmentatlas.org, or they can go to shatterproof.org, our organization's website, and they can get there as well. But really, it's a locator tool. So they can go to our site, they can input their information where they want to search for care. Maybe it's nearby where they live, maybe it's elsewhere in the state, and then they're given a list of treatment options in that general area. They can filter, as you would expect, as you would do on Yelp or any other site, and they can find treatment options that are best aligned with what they've defined as their clinical needs and preferences. And then in addition, if someone's coming to our website and they perhaps don't know what to do first, it's an incredibly confusing field for people, or medical space for people who haven't tried to navigate it before. And so we have a very short, also anonymous assessment that sits on our page, so that people can go through, they can answer a brief set of questions, and what we do is we provide them with initial guidance on what kind of care and what kinds of treatment services might be best suited for them based upon the responses that they provided to us. And then we automatically filter for those, so that it's really meant to be very tailored to the person who's coming to our site, and making sure that we're getting them to care as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Love it. Love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So could you share with our viewers maybe a success story that someone, or if you can, you don't have to obviously say their name, but maybe a success story of how Shatterproof has helped them?
Yeah, I think my favorite success stories are things that come through with our ambassador program. So we have a really lovely network of volunteers who are committed to the causes that we tackle at Shatterproof. And these are people who have had some really challenging and heartbreaking experiences related to substance use disorder. And rather than like being beaten down by that forever, they come to Shatterproof and they put their energy towards helping people, whether it's like advocating for policy changes or increasing awareness about Treatment Atlas, going out into the community and letting people know that it's a free tool that's available to them. Or, I mean, they testify in front of legislatures to spread the word. So they've really, I find that most inspiring, is we have people who have lost a child. We have people who, like our CEO, Gary, they've lost a child. They have had, they've had their own experience with substance use disorder. And they have, again, very courageously channeled that and are bringing that energy to our organization so that no one has to go, like, so that ultimately and hopefully and ideally that like less people have to go through, you know, some of those heartbreaking experiences that we know with substance use disorder, like overdose and the challenges that we've seen in this space.
To take that pain and turn it into fuel so other families don't have to go through that. And like you said, when you look at the stats of 9 out of 10, how many become addicts after 18? You know what I mean? Because I remember growing up, and it's everything again was there it was right there next to you, you know, and so salute, hats off to Shatterproof and all you're doing for the nationwide.
Yes, thank you.
So this is your camera. You can go ahead and tell everyone. You got 30 seconds to tell them about Shatterproof.
Yeah, so Shatterproof, again, is an organization that's committed to helping people with substance use disorder. If you are interested in being involved, we'd love to have you. Please come to shatterproof.org, visit our ambassador page, visit Get Involved, and you'll be able to figure out some good ways of connecting with us. Also visit treatmentatlas.org to search for and find care if you're in the 10 states where we currently operate. That's inclusive of Delaware, so all of the Delaware people, feel free to come there, and then also several other states that we list on our site, so feel free to take a look. And then we have community events, so come to our page. We have walks, we have other ways to connect with us. We love seeing people in the community, so take a look, shatterproof.org, and we hope to see you at a future walk or future community event.
Awesome.
Excellent.
We got to talk about this real quick.
Yes.
The Longwood Grant.
Yes.
What are you guys going to do with the Longwood Grant?
Yes. So thankfully, we have greatly appreciated the generosity of Longwood in allowing us to bring Treatment Atlas to Delaware, and again, with additional funding to continue to update the information that we have in Treatment Atlas for the people of Delaware. That's been incredible. And then I think very excitingly, in addition to Treatment Atlas, what we've been able to bring to Delaware is some of our anti-stigma work. So we're using some of the funds to collect stories from people in Delaware, for people to be able to share their experiences, to really normalize and bring awareness to substance use disorder. And then you know, have events, trainings, webinars to work to reduce the stigma that people feel about a substance use disorder, whether personal or cultural, and bring awareness to this disease and make it so that people aren't ashamed.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Shannon, thank you so much for joining us
thank
today.
you.
Another capeless superhero.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, well, we have to take a quick commercial break, so don't go anywhere.
Oh my gosh,
Still to come, CHOP Center for Autism Research's Family Relations Coordinator, Jamiel Owens.
How did DETV start and how did you get here?
DETV started approximately 10 years ago in the basement of my home. I had an idea to show people of color doing great things, but what happened was I got to the point that I said, I'm gonna just show people all together doing great things. The motto and the moral was to bring people together instead of using media to rip people apart. And doing that, you know, I just did a lot of hard work, a lot of free stuff. a lot of things of just showing people being themselves. I figured that media, and I saw that media wasn't doing that, so I just decided to give it a shot, not knowing that it would bring me to where I am today. I had a great journey doing it, met some amazing people, did some amazing things, worked on some amazing projects, you know, and with just a lot of hard work and a bunch of sacrifice, I'm here today. I done worked on everyone's campaign in the state of Delaware, and now, you know, I'm just doing what I do and doing it with friends. My biggest accomplishment right now would have to be this, hands down, without a doubt. We want to make sure that we inform the community wholeheartedly. So again, they can have all the information that they need. For more information, you can find us at detvch.com. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook under DETV. Be sure to check us out. Tell me what you think. Good morning, Wilmington, and welcome back. Our last guest on the Plaza is here to talk about Autism Awareness Month. Please welcome Jamiel Owens.
Thank you, guys.
How are you?
Thank
Welcome
you.
to the Plaza.
I'm good. I'm good. You guys had such a lineup. I don't know if I can even compete with that.
But it's not about a competition.
No. Right. You're right about that. You're right about that.
It's man, you know, it's all about messaging and getting the good word out of what good and great people are doing. You
Exactly.
know? And speaking of that, live from Philadelphia, from Delaware, from Philadelphia, North Philly.
Delaware, everywhere.
Right.
We're here.
What's going on, man? How's everything?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed, 100%. I'm blessed. I can't express the gratitude, first off, for you guys having me here, but also, too, for being able to do my job, my position. I'm just all around blessed. I'm not working. This is just something that I do every single day, and I happen to get paid for it.
That's the second time we heard that today. Right. That was the second time. It's not work. Right. It's a mission.
Exactly. But you're doing it with your heart.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's passion.
Yeah.
And that's when you're making the most impact.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And whatever individual that you encounter will be very fortunate to encounter that energy. Yeah. Because that's what we need more of.
Yeah.
You and I both talk about that.
Yep.
But Jamiel, let's talk about, well, it's so much. It's Autism Awareness Month.
Yes.
So let's break it down a little bit. Then we're going to go right into talking about CHOP and then what you do and then the awesome show, which I'm really excited to dive into. Let's break it down.
Okay.
What is autism?
And that's the narrative that we're trying to change. What is autism?
Yeah.
Because people associate autism with a particular look, a particular person, a particular ethnic background, but it's much more than that. Autism is only a legal term that is defining a person. I like to say that, you know, we have imperfect people trying to define another imperfect person. None of us are perfect.
Right.
So when we look at autism, we have to look deeper than the symbol, than the term. We have to look at the individual, who they are. So just like my son Shane, who's 15 and has autism, I don't look at him as an autistic. I look at him as a representation of the autistic community, but I look at him as Shane. He's a person, he's an individual who represents that. He's a young man of the Black and brown community that is looking to grow up and be a contribution to this world, not so much a taker of this world. So when you ask me what is autism, autism is a classification, nothing more, nothing less. The individuals who represent that community are amazing, are individuals who speak with their heart, who actually show that empathy and that compassion, something that we lack in this world.
Wow. As a parent with a child with that's autistic, let me say it like that, what tips or what advice would you give another parent that is you know, they're brand new to it? You know what I mean?
Yes.
First, call me. First call me. A part of my job and a part of my advocacy since 2014 was putting myself out there for men because I was focused on the autism fathers, but the family unit as a whole, and trying to educate and help people off that cliff, off that ledge of just saying, I don't have anybody, I don't know what support looks like. So call me, but also too, patience. So as much as we lack every single day as the neurotypical community, we lack patience. You can drive in traffic. If you ever drove in Philly, you lack patience. So you gotta have it, but you lack it. So You know, one thing that my son has taught me more than anything else was patience. And I think new parents, especially with the demographic and the age actually changing every single day, you know, as a younger generation, a more hip generation, patience. You got to learn it. You got to understand it. Yeah.
I was about 2 years ago, Vincenza. I was at maybe more than that. I went to the Philadelphia. It was an event going on by, it wasn't CHOP, but it was, I think it was Nemours. And I went there, and it was a show of the Grinch, and it was a special show for children that were autistic. And, you know, and I'm with you. I think that the world definitely needs to understand what being autistic is, right? Because as a father, a human with a child that's not autistic, you know, I walked in there, and when I mean a special show, I mean show like they had to dim the lights, they had to certain
Sensory,
kids, sensory issues, right?
Sensory,
right, and I'm blown away because as a father, you know, with a child that's not autistic, you are thinking automatically that these kids are bad, because they're screaming, because the lights are bright or whatever. But you don't know that they're screaming if the lights bright, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I felt so bad because I didn't know. You didn't know. You know what I mean? So I think this is every day is the right day to tell people what it is, to change the narrative of what it is, and let people inform people that, hey, this is the situation. Because outside of that, man, like, the kids were amazing. They were beautiful. They were outstanding. You just didn't know that they had sensory issues. You know, so
and that's a key point too. You said I don't know, and that's fine, because you know, we fear what we don't know.
There you
so
go.
That's the thing, is that we fear it as a species. We don't know it. We fear it. So I think it starts there, saying, hey, I don't know everything about autism. And me in my position, and being an autism father, I don't know everything, but I'm willing to learn. So if you put yourself in that mindset saying, hey, I'm willing to learn without the ignorance, and saying, hey, can you teach me something? That's half the battle right there. That means I'm doing my job. That means you're doing your job by saying, hey, I don't know everything, but I'm willing to, you know, take in a lot of education as well too. So it's good.
And that's okay if you don't know it all, but if you're willing and open-minded to learn more about, for example, what is autism and what causes an individual to react to light, sound, as examples, and sensory sensitivities. There's nothing wrong with that, but willing to learn and being open-minded to learn is just another positive step in the right direction. I want to talk more about CHOP's Center for Autism Research. Could you touch on that some more? The smile.
Crazy. I'm gonna tell you a crazy story. So I started off at CHOP in security, because I used to be a corrections officer here in the state of Delaware. I'm a volunteer firefighter where I'm at currently right now. So law enforcement, protecting my community is embedded in me. So I started with CHOP, and I used to go over to the Roberts building where where I work out of, and I used to sit there and say, I'm going to get in this building. I don't know how. 8 months into the position, I actually presented to the LEND program, which is a mixture of postdoctorate fellows and also community stakeholders. I was actually the first father to actually present in that class, and they offered me a position. 8 months in, and I got into research. From security to research. That's a jump.
That's a
jump.
Know,
that's a jump. So
yes,
I do smile.
There's a way.
Exactly. So I do smile, you know, because I love my job. But what we do there is we offer research opportunities to the community. But the most significant thing about this, and I want all organizations out there who don't have a me, I like to say, you got to get me a me. Go get me. You got to get a me. Is the fact that we are based out of University City, West Philadelphia, Southwest South Philadelphia. We are a community-based hospital. My director said we are not effectively communicating and connecting with the community. Therefore, my position was made to make that bridge, that connection, but also to bring back information and say, hey, you know what, we're missing the mark here. And this is what we need to support the community at where they're at. So, you know, what we do is research opportunities, but we're also a resource for the community. So we're so much more than actually saying, gimme, gimme, gimme. How can we give to you? How can we support you guys?
And here at DETV, if any way we can help you do that, man, just reach out.
Yes.
You got Najee's info.
I mean, you guys having me here was amazing. I will tell you one thing is that I'm having a Philly Autism Town Hall.
Okay.
This is my second one.
Okay.
This is my program that I came up with before I got the position.
Okay.
I was going to do it with my own nonprofit. So I partnered with the Philadelphia Sheriff's Department. It is April 29th.
Okay.
But I'm looking to bring this formula tri-state. So any organization out here that wants to have this event, law enforcement, first responder, contact me. Let's make this happen for our community because it's bigger than just Philadelphia.
Yes.
It's countrywide, it's worldwide. So.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Kate
I
was
love that.
superhero.
Well, speaking of awesome, you got to tell us about the awesome show. I was really looking forward to this. So you could just tell no stranger in front of the camera.
Yeah, exactly.
But you light up when you talk about autism awareness. Really, you do.
I do.
Jamiel, so tell us about the awesome show.
So it started off once again, me getting a diagnosis as a man from my son, not understanding my position, having so much depression, anxiety over it, what my position was as a man at that point. I created a safe space for other men. It started off as online radio. I would pay $250 out of my pocket every 2 weeks. I didn't have it, but I paid it. Saturday mornings, I would bring my son with me to the studio to actually record the session. I did the sound, I did all the tracks, I did all the guests, everything. I did
It's a lot of work, yes.
just to give people a safe space for men to say, okay, you know what, I need to educate or I have a safe space to tell my story. That resulted in, online television that I was able to do, podcasts. I was able to write 7 books in 1 year. So off of this, I was able to open up different avenues for men, for autism fathers, and then collectively the community and their family to gather more information, more resources, but let them know, hey, you have a community out here. Even though we might not live on your block, we're still a community and we're here to engage. So the Awesome Show has been, that's my baby right there. It means a lot to me. And I'm just so happy to bring that to the community.
Beautiful.
Wow,
That's
love
awesome.
that.
Dang, bro.
Wow.
Well, okay, so what else do you do? All right.
We got time.
well, I mean, you clearly, I mean, this hits home for you.
Yeah.
And you know you have to fight for your son, yourself, and so many individuals that may not have the ability to have a voice to speak up or the courage.
Exactly.
And you know, in the Black community, like autism is like there's so many parents out there that don't know that their children is on the spectrum.
Yeah. So that's the new CDC guidelines came out. 1 in 36, 2020 was 1 in 44.
Okay.
And now they're saying, hey, the Black and brown communities are significantly higher than our Caucasian counterparts.
Right.
That's incorrect. It's always been like that. It's the fact that as the Black and brown community, we felt that we couldn't open up and express like, hey, we're already being labeled out in this world. Guess what? Now our child is going to be labeled again.
So we won't say nothing.
Exactly.
Right.
But now, due to the initiatives of so many other countless organizations and people, we're opening up.
Okay.
So now, those rates always been there. Now you guys are seeing it.
What do you want as a father, as a one that stands in a gap, the one that works at CHOP? What do you want the Black and brown, forget all people to know, right, about autism?
Autism is just a classification. It does not signify who our children, our loved ones, going to be. We need to dive deeper into the most significant part of their growth, which is their heart. And this is something that we, as neurotypical individuals, we look for in everybody. Heart. I want love. These individuals exhibit love from the gate, and we need to learn from them. So instead of pushing them to the side and saying, hey, you're with our community, but you're a little different than us, no, let's make them the normal and let's make us different and let's learn from that.
I love that. I love that.
Thank you.
Jamiel, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for
Thank
letting me be here.
Your camera right there, 30 seconds.
30 seconds. All right. Autism families, you are loved, you are important, you are doing the best job possible. Remember that this is not a race. This is a marathon, like everybody says, but embrace those moments because your triumph and your testimony after this is always going to help an individual like myself and other community members as well. So you guys are doing the best job possible.
Excellent.
My
Thank
man,
you, Jamiel.
appreciate it, bro.
No problem.
All right.
I'm inspired.
I
today.
am too.
I'm inspired. I am.
And so is
moved.
Kaylin over there. We're waving her hand. Really. Look.
Oh, that's our
That's our signal.
That's our signal.
That's our signal.
Another
All right.
great show as always,
Yes,
Ivan.
yes.
And oh yes,
My girl.
and thank you for everyone joining us today. We had an opportunity to be inspired and to learn. So please make sure you check out all of our guests and their respective organizations. Thank you again to Adam Kramer, the Green Beret Project, Shannon Biello of Shatterproof, and Jamiel Owens of Center for Autism Research. Check out his show, The Awesome Show.
Yeah.
Another
And they're all
awesome
nonprofits,
show.
so go to their website and drop a couple coins. Gotta love that, right?
Oh,
Drop a
yes.
coin. We'll see you next week on Good Morning Wilmington. Well, later on in the week. I'm sorry, next week. Good morning, Wilmington.